everybody that we have that played a role in that Kahoot. But guess what? We've got some more information to share with you. And one of the things that I love about RAIN is this is something that we know we can expand upon. You know, when I saw this concept of seed nutrition, I saw that we had the opportunity to participate in a category, not just one product, not just an ingredient, but there's so many things that we can do with seeds. And it's been amazing to be able to meet with Dr. Templeman, to have his experience as, he's helping us navigate through something that's constantly changing. So first off, Dr. Templeman, thank you so much for being here. Let's give everybody a chance to say hi. So in the comments, say hi to Dr. Templeman real quick, everybody. We're going to pull the pictures up here in a sec so you can see all the faces too, Dr. T. We've got people from all around the world who are excited to hear from you. So there we go. We got people waving. There we go in the background there. And it's great. It's great. Once again, everybody has different abilities and talents, and we need people that understand why these things are happening. You know, when I started sharing seed nutrition and soul with people, I saw the results, but I didn't know why. And, you know, anytime I sit down with Dr. Templeman, it's amazing because I'm always enlightened with new studies, new direction, new things that are happening. And so first off, thanks for being here once again. And
it's great.
And this is something that I know that you have a passion for.
It is something I have a passion for.
And what can you say about that? I mean, because this isn't something that is a stagnant aspect of.
No, it certainly isn't. And in this age of information, the speed at which things change, the knowledge that comes onto the scene is just very, very different than the past. When I graduated as a medical doctor in 1984, the half-life of medical knowledge, meaning how long before half of everything that you accepted was true was no longer true because new information had replaced it. And it was 5 years. Wow. Now we have progressed to where it is less than 18 months. In less than 18 months, everything that is accepted as being true in the life sciences, whether we're talking physiology or therapeutics in actual medicine, half of that will be gone. It will be obsolete in about 18 months. And that makes what's happening in medicine and in the life sciences so exciting right now. And because I consider that supplementation is part of the life sciences, there's never been a more exciting time scientifically to be in the business of supplementation.
Like, there's never been a time where so much information is readily available at fingertips.
Right, right.
People can get it. And, I know that it seemed like decades ago when you started looking at some of these companies and these categories that came before RAIN's category, essential oils and herbs, it was almost like it wasn't mainstream at all. It was almost like you were kind of weird. You focused on that.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing weird about it.
No, not at all. In fact, from the weird side of things, an awful lot has come into the mainstream. The most recent thing is that 25 years ago, if you visited a doctor who was concentrating either on naturopathy or chiropractic, you might have heard that doctor talk about leaky gut syndrome. But nobody else talked about it. And if you spoke to a medical doctor about it, there would be a raising of the eyebrows and a kind of scorny approach to the idea that could possibly be true. But right now, that is mainstream. It is the most important area of research in life sciences at the present time. And we're learning how we can do something about it. And believe me, it isn't medicine. It's supplementation, diet, and exercise that are going to make the difference with leaky gut. And it affects every part of the body. And what's great is that we already have the products. We don't have to go out and invent them. 20 years ago, most of the evidence for products came from the testimonials. And I still think that really is the way that you really catch the feelings of someone who has had a tremendous change in their health because of supplementation, still through the testimonial. But 20 years ago, that was pretty much all that there was. Now you can roll out reams and reams of scientific studies that will back up the reasons why and the ones that strike me most, of course, is core and soul. Core and soul are so chock full of something called bioflavin. Well, actually, let's go to a larger category, polyphenols. And these polyphenols are used everywhere in the body after the gut, the bioreactor in our gut, these 10 trillion microbes that help us digest and been with us for eternities, that they digest this and they make it into something that we can use in our body. If we didn't have them, we couldn't do that. But we didn't understand that. We used to go looking in the blood for the actual thing that was in the product that we put in the mouth. And we couldn't recognize it, but we knew that it was making a difference. And the reason was that it was getting changed by the gut bacteria into something that we did not even suspect was there. And yet it was the activity. Well, that's striking.
And you know what, as you're saying this, now the thing that comes to mind is I just think back a few years ago and in this space. And when I got started in nutrition, the up and coming thing was antioxidants. Everything was antioxidant this, antioxidant that. And it's funny when we sit down and we talk about some of the future things that we want to do in studies, it's not that is an indicator, but like you say, Dr. T, that's old science.
Yes, it is old science. It's still valuable science. But now we realize that the antioxidants do not act exactly the same way that we thought they did. They do tremendous things, and they're still extremely important. But these same polyphenols, which are the antioxidants or produce the antioxidants, produce much, much more. The gut makes almost all of several neurotransmitters which are necessary for the brain. The gut makes vitamins, and the gut makes antibiotics of its own. Nothing you could write a prescription for, but antibiotics which help to keep the good guys and the bad guys in balance inside this bioreactor, which lives inside us.
Well, and everything that and I'm not a doctor, but a lot of the education that I've gotten or heard on antioxidants is antioxidants, the free radicals, oxidation. But what we're talking about now, and where a lot of this stuff happens, there's no oxygen.
No, there's no oxygen at all in the lower part of the gut. In fact, the pH, which is the amount of acid that's present in the digestive tract, is highest in the stomach, of course. And then as it comes out of the stomach, all of the the food is going to be in a higher pH, a lower pH, an acidic pH. But by the time it gets down to the colon, which, like I say, is a bioreactor. If it were a machine, it would have to be as big as half a room. And the things that go on in there with 10 trillion living elements there are just incredible. What they can do with our food, first of all, they take it away. The acidity is gone. And it's largely a neutral or a very slightly acidic area. And that's very different than anything we ever even began to understand as recently as 10 years ago.
Yeah, and the effects are profound.
Oh, they are very profound. And when you see them, what my problem was in the past as a scientist who was analyzing the blood content of things that we knew were in the fruits that we were feeding people, we knew it was there. But when we looked for it in the blood, we could only find a minuscule proportion of it. What we didn't know is that it had put on 5 different hats when it went through the gut, and it was out doing things in areas we didn't even suspect. And so now we understand that the benefits we see and feel when we use these products, they're not mysterious. they aren't placebo. These are real reactions taking place in the body with substances that are derivatives of what we put in our mouths.
It's amazing. And, as things are progressing and things change, every time we've sat down and we're figuring out, looking at new ingredients, new things,
Yes.
new studies.
Yeah.
The term that comes up isn't antioxidants, but there's something that I know you believe is going to be on the forefront and is going to be as popular, if not more popular, than antioxidants, and it's a different term.
Yes, it is. We're not using the same terminology. It still is in the literature and it still is in the vernacular, so that we do talk about this. But the way we talk about it is with different reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to keep that for a little bit because we are anticipating possibly doing something.
Yeah, we won't get too far down that path, but all the studies and all the things that have been presented to us here at Rain by Dr. T, you're seeing where the direction is going. And what I love is seed nutrition, the source of all these chemical compounds that are in seeds are exactly where we need to be focusing.
Absolutely. If you think about it, and I'm sure that all of your people recognize, nature takes the very best it has and encapsulates it in a seed. Within that seed is everything that is required in an absolute compact form, the essence of a tremendous plant, a tree, if you were thinking about one of the largest, but it's in a seed. It's there. It's being held in abeyance until the situation is right for it to sprout and grow. Well, when you take everything that is compacted into that seed, and then you take it, and for example, I think core is only 2 ounces, isn't it?
Core is the 1 ounce.
The 1 ounce.
Yeah.
So you take it and you concentrate that down into 1 ounce, and it's nothing but what nature had concentrated in the seed. And now you've got it in an ounce, and you put that ounce in your body. You can imagine the shouts for joy in the intestine when that stuff gets delivered. Those polyphenols are the food of these little animals that are our best friends that live in our gut. That's their food. And interestingly, after they eat it and they excrete byproducts, those byproducts are tremendously important to us. You cannot overemphasize it.
Yeah. And you can't, it's almost like you said, it's teamwork.
It is.
You can't create things that they can create.
No, we can't. We could never do it. And it varies from place to place. So you have people in Norway, you have people in the Balkans, you have people in Europe, you have people in America and in South America. And the bioreactors that they have are slightly different. So some of them may be getting benefits that the others may not, and vice versa. So it's going to be fascinating to learn just exactly what a test would be done in Norway as opposed to being done here in America, as opposed to being done, say, in Hungary. Yeah.
No, it's exciting. It's kind of funny because around here at the office, we have all the different things that we focus on to run a business. But it's funny to see when we have Dr. T come in and we sit at the table and we're focusing on, what are some of these things that we need to be looking at. We'll have a lot of the different executives just want to come and sit in and come and sit and learn, because it really is amazing and it's exciting to know that this nutrition and this seed, it's not anywhere close to dead. It's living, it's growing, and there are areas of science that are emerging that will be more popular than antioxidants. That will be more popular than a lot of the things that we've heard in the past, because of the benefits and the effects that we're learning. As you talked about, every 18 months, science is almost totally replaced.
Yeah, we'll drop a little pearl on that.
Yeah.
It's nothing to make a commitment about, but what is happening is that from the left, way out here, where things were kind of before, we're learning about the importance of the frequencies, the signatures of the elements that we have. Now, we're not to the point of being able to explain with that yet, but we are understanding better some of what we observe by taking that new, not even yet consolidated science and adding it into the equation. We're never going to know less than we know now.
Yeah. Well, what excites me is, being in RAIN as long as I have, over a decade and traveling the world and seeing people, as you mentioned, in different backgrounds and cultures and seeing things transpire in their lives positively by getting on Seed Nutrition. I'm just grateful that it happens, but a lot of the things that we're learning and the things that we're planning and we're scheduling and we have as far as things that we're going to share and have ready for all of you, they're aha moments to me.
Yeah,
because
they will.
I see these things happening. I don't know why, but then when we sit down and you talk about science and you talk about some of these new sciences, it makes sense to me why we're seeing the things that we're seeing. It's not just maybe what we thought, but there's so much more going on there,
right?
And so many more benefits than I think we could even imagine.
We'll just maybe finish up with the idea that there are microbes that are in our gut, 10 trillion of them, all right, 10 trillion. And 85% of them could never even be identified because they were the only ones that could not be grown in oxygen. So until a scientific possibility of reading their RNA and DNA was developed, we didn't even know what they were, how many they were, or what they did. Now that new technology has opened not a book, but a library.
And it's pretty exciting, guys. I can tell you that, when we saw that this was something bigger than a product, when we saw that this is something bigger than just an opportunity, I think my mind continually expands and is blown. I know your minds are going to be blown when you see some of the research and studies and things that we're going to be able to share and show that have to do with what we're doing. And I'm really excited as we continue to put things together and be able to share with the globe, with science, with, like you said, with these new doors that are open, that open possibilities in every realm of wellness. And here we are in RAIN on the forefront of being in nutrition, being in seeds, the source of nutrition, and focusing on what really causes a lot of these reactions to happen. So Dr. T, we're excited to be able to have you as a team player here at RAIN, because it really is a team, all of us working together. If we get this science and we share it, it doesn't matter if the world doesn't know.
That's correct.
And so we all work together to learn more, to be able to educate ourselves so that we can educate others and just change lives. And just excited about the opportunity that RAIN is and what it means for all of our future. So we love having you, love what you're doing. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't know and you don't see, but you will. And it's gonna, I don't want to.
This is going to be an exciting place to be.
Yeah, it's gonna knock your socks off. Let me just say that. It's gonna be an exciting place to be. So Dr. T, thanks once again. Everybody, let's share some love for Dr. Templeman in the comments and just appreciate what's going on, because we're learning more and more right now what we actually have in our hands.
That's
and
correct.
It's bigger and more promising and a wider impact than I think.
The value is going up.
Oh, absolutely.
We own it. The value is going up.
Absolutely. So once again, thanks. Wish you the best, everybody. Let's share some love once again. And
take care.
We'll see you, and we'll be able to share some things with you with Dr. T here in the future, in the next couple of months, and I'm excited for it. So thanks, Dr. T.
Thank you.
Thanks.